Once again, we are back here on Metal for the Masses, the only place playing it harder, faster, and louder than anybody else. And today, a special treat. I am joined by the fabulous, the awe-inspiring, I'm trying to think of an epic word to use here, the titanical man himself of Titanosaur. Geoff, the man, the myth, the fucking legend.
Jeez.
I'm building you up, man. Just don't fuck this up for me. Anyway, so you're of the band Titanosaur. Tell us about it, man.
The band Titanosaur is me and my mask.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful.
It's great. For those of you who would be listening to the audio and not watching this on the YouTube page, it is legit a Tyrannosaurus mask. I love it because it's simple, but it's effective. You know?
Yes,
you're not like, I've seen other great bands, especially one that's around your neck of the woods in New York, Gorilla Wizard. They are like to the extreme, and I do appreciate it. Like the gorilla costume with the wizard costume on top of that. That's dedication to like that's dedication and perspiration to like an amazing degree. But you, sir, you're like, fuck all that. Simple, effective, it works, and it's been working for you.
Yeah, no, it has. Definitely the Gorilla Wizard guys, and then the Bovine Nightmares guys with Steampunk Monkey. It's again the gorilla mask, but he's got all this steampunk stuff on him. I'm like, I cannot take that much time to get ready. I pop on the mask and I'm good to go.
Are gorillas just popular in New York? Is that the thing? Because like you're going against the grain here.
Well, Bovine Nightmares from Pennsylvania, but maybe it's an East Coast thing. I don't know.
Might be. You're going against the grain with it, though. I love it. So, Titanosaur, it's you and your mask, or Titano, correct?
Yeah. I've decided to call it Titano. Yeah.
Right. I saw you posing the new shirt on your Instagram page. It's amazing. So what made you start it?
I was doing this thing called the Ray Gun Girls, goth metal kind of stuff, industrial rock. Since 2004, it was a band, and then in 2009, I had an emergency heart surgery, my third one, and since then can't play live, so I decided to go it alone. So that Ray Gun Girls is really serious, dark stuff, and I just wanted to do something more rock and roll, and I've got tons of influences, AC/DC and High on Fire. I was really getting into High on Fire when I decided to do Titanosaur. And so, I decided to split it off because it just wouldn't make sense as the Ray Gun Girls to be doing this kind of stuff. So that's where it started back in 2017.
Gotcha. Well, obviously, all these years later, you're still going strong. How has it changed from the very beginning? Have you like learned anything new since you first started being like a one-man operation?
Well, yeah, I mean, musically, I've changed, gotten heavier. My production techniques have gotten better, so the recorded sounds better. But I had to learn how to promote myself on Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff, and it's been going great. I mean, with the Swamp Records label, it's been going really well. So
Hell yeah. And with Swamp Records, have you has that been a recent thing, or how long has that been?
That was last year. Was it last year? Yeah, last year. Joined the Swamp Records and put out the EP Inti Wanyu and then the album Absence of Universe on Swamp Records. So that happened last year.
Nice. And Absence of Universe was really cool, but I can honestly, going back to like the first time I think I talked to you, this was probably going back like 2 or so years ago with your cover of Mean Machine.
That was last year.
That was last year. That was epic. I've been playing that on my show for so long, but I got into like more of your stuff, like what is it? We're All Waiting and all this other great stuff. I love your stuff, man. I really do. I like the you say it in your bio, but like I hear all the Motorhead. I'm a big Motorhead guy. It's very much there, that old school, pure rock and roll kind of sound, the no bullshit, just doing your thing. I like it, man. I really do respect it. And
Thanks.
now you got, we've been spinning it on Metal for the Masses, and I do appreciate it, before it's even fucking released. We got your uh, we got your two, one's a cover and one's like a redo
Yeah.
of a song you've already released. But I just, your cover of Bomber, out of everything Motorhead that you could have done Over the Top, you could have done Overkill, we could have done Iron Fist, the tried and true, the OG, the one everybody knows, Bomber.
You know,
Why? Any
well, first of all, yeah, I did one last year, and I'm glad everybody's really digging it. I mean, it's still getting tons of play on Spotify, everywhere on stations. And that was with Demon Scar. And then, about 3 months ago, I think it was, I said to Meds from Demon Scar, hey, why don't we do this a yearly thing? So this is the second year. We'll see if it keeps going. But yeah, we covered Bomber. We actually put a poll out on Twitter asking which one people would prefer. And, we put up some of the classics like Road Crew, and a few others, and Bomber was not picked. But
was not picked.
we're punk rock and roll guys who are like, fuck that. And so we did Bomber.
Fuck what you all wanted. We're doing this.
It's one of my favorites. And so it could have been Burner was another one that I really want to do at some point, but
oh yeah,
I like the fast ones. What can I say?
I mean, wouldn't the timing have been great if you guys picked God Save the Queen?
Oh well,
Who would have thought? But no, I really do like the Motorhead influence, man. Like, and I do enjoy the cover, because one thing that I always talk about on my show is like, I'm like a cover snob. I like to call myself. I don't like just covers just for the sake of covers. I like bands that put their own spin on a cover and don't try. Like, if you set out to try to be Lemmy while doing this cover, you'd get, like, it would just be a hate fest. But you didn't. It's legit Titanosaur Bomber,
Yeah, man.
It's
You can't do it as well as the original. I mean, that's just not possible when you're doing a cover. You gotta do it on your own, the way you want it, the way you like to hear it. And that's how I make all my music, is just what I like to hear. With Bomber especially, though, it's really has a lot to do with Meds from Demon Scar, because he did the guitar on Bomber. Because I tried and my fingers were just not moving that fast. So luckily he's able to do that. So, but vocally, I mean, who can sound like Lemmy? I mean, he's a huge influence with my vocals. If you hear my music, you can tell that's just how my voice comes out when I sing. So it's not like I'm trying to pretend to be Lemmy. I do use some of his techniques, like stretching my throat to try to get higher notes and kind of thing. But yeah, you do what you can and try to do the best you can with what you've got, and remember, you're not that person, so it's not going to come out exactly like them. So.
exactly. And doing the best you can with what you got. I think, like, you're a perfect example of it, because, like, being you're not essentially the one man show, because you are having other people, like, help you out along this way. But for the majority of it, you are the one man thing. So doing the best with what you got, I think you're doing a great job, man. Like, obviously we've talked about, like, what you've learned since the beginning. You said it's been like a process, but being a one man band, like, are there times where it even now is still difficult with all you've learned?
Oh, absolutely, definitely. I mean, it takes a lot of time. Like right now, I'm in the middle of editing a video for Bomber, promoting Bomber and Escape Velocity, which is going to be on a compilation that just happens to be coming out the same day. Just doing the regular daily promoting that you got to do to stay in front of people's faces on all the social media, because I don't play live, so that's the only avenue I have. And then at the same time, I'm also finishing up the artwork for a new album, which will be coming out in December. And getting ready to send out that first single to you guys, to everybody who will play it, and then for reviews, I guess, in the album. So there are tons of things that go into being in a band, and usually you can spread that out amongst the members, but it's all me. So
I
you
mean,
know,
I would think like one of the best parts about that is like you are the primary decision maker, you don't have to get other people's opinions in on it, except for times where you are like collaborating with somebody else. So I mean, like there's one positive aspect to it. But you mentioned you mentioned a new album in December. I want to talk about that in just a little bit. But the other song that you do have coming out is a redo of a song you already have out, Escape Velocity.
yeah. So
Why did you want to redo that?
it's one of my favorite songs on the first album, on the Eat Me album. It was the first single. It's just that I sing differently now than I did back during that first album. So there's much more power behind my vocals now. So I wanted to redo that. Also, my guitar tone has changed. So I wanted to get that sound on there, which is much more aggressive. And then the production also, my techniques are much better now than they were back then. So I just wanted to get a better sounding version of that song, which is, like I said, one of my favorites off of that album. So yeah, and the opportunity just arose for this compilation. They were looking for music, and they asked me if I had anything. So it was a perfect time for it.
Hell yeah, definitely. So Escape Velocity and Bomber, they are the two tracks, the two newest ones that we've been spinning on Metal for the Masses before the release. Eternally grateful, sir, as always. It's, even from the first time you decided to let me, JC, some prick on the internet, play Mean Machine, or and now sending me your stuff, I'm eternally grateful for that. When do these officially come out so that people can get their hands on these and not have to rely on our schedules to hear this stuff?
Bomber, they both come out. It just so happens on the 23rd, which is whenever this airs, this coming Friday. Yeah, Bomber's going to be on streaming because we wanted to do it official and the right way. So we're paying for the rights for it. So it's just streaming. We're not selling it. And Escape Velocity is going to be on this Harbinger of Doom compilation, which comes out on the 23rd, but that's only going to be on Bandcamp. So you're going to have to.
Only on Bands.
Yeah.
Us iTunes elitists won't be able to get our hands on that. But hey, if you're on the Bandcamp, go support this man. What's your Bandcamp, sir, so people can go support you?
Yes, TITANOSAUR1, the number 1.bandcamp.com. For some weird reason, when I signed up, somebody else had Titanosaur. I don't know who would be using that name because they haven't put anything up, but somebody already had it blocked off. So
damn, it's the evil twin.
Have
you I just want to ask this question out of the blue because like you are a Titanosaur dinosaur themed man here. Have you met any other dinosaur themed artists?
I've followed a few. Nobody's actually interacted.
I really feel like you guys could get a collaboration going and like make like a spin on like Jurassic Park, kind of like a name.
When I was looking for a name for this band, for this project, I looked up tons of dinosaur names, and they were all taken, all the cool ones like Stegosaur, T-Rex, Mammoth. There's Acid. There are a couple of different mammoth.
Acid Mammoth.
Acid Mammoth, and there's another mammoth band, or just Mammoth, I think. Yeah. So and Pterodactyl is also a band out there.
Is it spelled pterodactyl or is it pterodactyl?
It's pterodactyl. So yeah, I've contacted a few of them just to say, hey, I'm here. Hey, we could do, but nobody's responding. So whatever.
Whatever. Hey, listen, on the bright side though, you should totally look it up before, like, after I say this, so like you don't steal anybody's name. But if Titanosaur doesn't work out, you should totally start a horror punk band and name yourself Pterodactyl.
Maybe that sounds complicated to spell though. I don't know.
Like pterodactyl. That'd be pretty funny. Anyway, so the new album you mentioned, December. What you care to open up about that?
Elaborate a little bit on it.
Yeah.
So
Let the people know.
You know, I was calling it an EP for since I started, but apparently it's an album because it's 35 minutes long.
Is that what constitutes an album?
I guess
Like-
so.
Okay.
It's 5 songs, an acoustic version of Eater of Death, which came out in June. So I got an acoustic version of that, and the acoustic version is like 6.5 minutes because it's slower, but I think it really keeps your attention the whole way. The opening track is like 7 minutes long, but again, you have no idea that it's been that long while you're listening to it. So I think that's why it's 35 minutes long. But yeah, it's I actually looked at all the song titles and thinking about the lyrics, and it really has a lot to do with this spot that I'm sort of in with my health, of being sort of in limbo right now, somewhere in limbo.
Ether.
Because I'm on the heart transplant list, but I'm a level 6, so I'm all the way at the bottom, and the doctor's telling me it's going to be a couple of years. So I'm here just waiting to get worse, kind of thing. It's a weird spot to be in.
I mean, listen, man, terrible news, but you are making the most of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm not one to wallow in my situation. I got to keep moving. Especially, I've been wanting to get attention for Titanosaur since I started it, and in the past year, I've gotten so many ears on it and so many eyes on it that I can't lose the momentum. So I'm gonna keep pushing.
Absolutely. I want to pull you up real fast because like I want to see like what you're actually at these days. Yeah, man. Like you're not to say nothing, but like you're kicking the shit out of my page. You're at 12,208 followers right now. You're killing it.
Oh, thank you.
But and honestly, that number will definitely go up. Hey, like if you're listening to this right now, go follow at Titanosaur Rocks. I always want to say Titanosaurus, but it's Titanosaur Rocks, all one word. Go follow him.
And that's how I can tell, as a band on social media, you get tons of these like bots and these like promo people that say oh yeah, we listen to music, and that's how I can tell who hasn't, because they call me Titanosaurus.
Yeah. I always like want to say it, but then I'm also like, that's like a really cool, like, it's like a really cool, like play on it though. Titanosaur Rocks. I really do like that. So going back to your new album, you got all this stuff going on. It constitutes as, or it technically is an album, not an EP, to be technical. You got the acoustic Eater of Death on there. That's going to sound fucking bitching because the original, like the normal version's awesome, but the acoustic, I can't wait to hear that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that can't wait to hear that either, man. What else is on this upcoming album, are you at liberty to say?
It's heavy. One of the first songs that I wrote is super. I put a little video up on TikTok and Instagram when I first recorded the very first song for this album, and it's just one chord, but it is very intense.
Is it are we talking like are we talking like live at Hammersmith kind of heavy?
I don't know. I mean, what I don't know. Heavy. Just
heavy. Just heavy.
Just heavy.
That's it. Whatever you think heavy is.
Yeah, it's the concepts are some of the concepts are heavy. Like the first single, which will be coming out in October, is called "The Spaces Between," and this is probably one of the least heavy punkish sounding songs that I've ever put out with Titanosaur, but it's a really good introduction to the rest of the album. So it's one of a lot of there are a few songs on there that there's a simplicity to it. But I don't know, the concepts are complex, I guess. I don't
I
know.
got you. And I'm going to ask you a quick question here because for the people that will be listening to this, they don't obviously see the video. They'll be able to see the video if they go to the YouTube page, which will be attached when this airs. I see your acoustic guitar behind you. I've heard from you just now that you've released like one chord. For those that might not have seen your post, can you play the one chord for us? I've never asked anybody to do this before because it's never been like right here, right now.
Let's see. What's that one chord? If I could remember how I played it.
That was it.
This is out of tune too. Oh, it's horrendously out of tune.
It's horrendous. But hey, that's still pretty cool. That was your first look at the new Titanosaur.
It's if you can hear it, there you go.
There it is. Your first exclusive look here. You heard it here first. Well, you heard it here second, folks, on Metal for the Masses. The first look at one chord off the new Titanosaur album, played by the amazing Geoff. I just want to talk about I have your liner that you sent me for my show, like the very first one, and when you first sent it to me, the joke of it went over my head at first because I told you in the email to have fun with this, but just record. And it's just plain like, this is Geoff from Titanosaur from Metal for the Masses. John told me to have fun with this. I don't know what this means. It makes me fucking laugh every single time that I play it because it's just so serious. And when I first listened to the audio, I thought you were I don't know what this means. Because I responded to you. It's like, hey man, when I said have fun with this,
Right.
It's great. Like
you have no idea how many times I tried to do something interesting, something funny, something. I was like, fuck that. So.
I'll just be simple about it. But no, it worked. It's a testament to you, man. Like, you're the mask, you're not over your music speaks for itself. You personally are not like this over the top thing, like this over the top person, like when it comes to I'm trying to say that I'm not trying to insult you in any way with what I'm saying. What I'm saying is just like it's just thinking of a way, like how you said, of how do I make this interesting? How do I make this? How do I do that? You're just you, I feel like that's like a genuine thing that is also interesting about your music. It's genuinely you, everything about Titanosaur is just a genuine, not trying to be over the top, but it's just like, here's Titanosaur, like it or leave it.
Yeah, I appreciate that you're able to see that. Definitely. Yeah, I'm 47. In my early 30s is when I realized who I was, and I'm just a fucking punk rock and roller. This is who I am. And that was part of the thing with the Ray Gun Girls too, is that was really a whole scene. And so I had to dress, I thought I had to dress a specific way. I had to be this kind of dark and brooding person and make that kind of dark and stuff. And so this me was waiting to get out. And so in 2017, when I finally let it out, it's definitely much easier and much more satisfying, and much more fun. And that's what Titanosaur was. That's what the Ray Gun Girls was supposed to be about. But it turned into something else. And so that's what I'm trying to keep Titanosaur as something fun. And so that's easier when I'm just me.
Right. And being like, honestly, like true to you with Titanosaur, what are you trying to bring to like other people with your music? Is there like any kind of like anything you want to convey to like other people, like with the stuff that you write?
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of this stuff really has to do with it was like I read an interview with Andrew WK where he said, look, I'm just writing all these positive type of songs just for myself so that I can listen back to them when I'm feeling down. And that's pretty much what I do. I'm writing all these songs like Eater of Death. It just happened that I wrote that song before knowing that my heart was in such bad shape. But it's a fight song. It's something that I listen to constantly to keep the spirits up. It's I'm something that I say in a lot of interviews and that I put out there constantly also is I'm autistic. I have this heart condition, but I'm still making all this great music. People are loving it. So all these things are possible. And that's a message, especially for parents out there who are like, oh, my kid's never going to do anything because they have either of these conditions. So here I am.
Yep. And I think that's a really good inspiration to like people who like have like a like I say this and I don't mean like, there are people who are far worse, like on like a spectrum of disability. But it's almost like a you hear it all the time, but it's almost like a strength because it's like that a lot of people like my brother, for instance, my brother is disabled. His cerebellum in his brain is abnormally small. So his reaction times are delayed. So therefore he'll never be able to drive a car. But like to spin that around, his sense of pain is delayed. So this man is just a bull that feels no pain, but it's just everybody's his friend, like there's no bad days. Everything's good, always on the positive side of life. And it's just like, I feel like that's a big superpower into like today's day and age. And for even you, like being on the spectrum, how like you writing these songs to pump yourself up and to, be I don't know, like a beacon for like other people who are dealing with that kind of stuff, like that's awesome, man. I just think that's really cool. Has it ever felt like it's been in the way, or has it kind of helped you? Has it kind of helped drive your music in ways that, maybe somebody not in your situation would have ever thought?
Yeah. So in the Reagan Girls, it was more about expressing all of the anger that I had. And in Titanosaur, it's more about like asking questions and having fun. And so yeah, some songs are a little serious, some songs aren't, and stuff like that. So I try to keep it light for myself. But it's really whatever comes out. So yeah, it's a driving force for me. I don't let it get in the way. When it starts getting in the way, that's when I pull back and take a break from whatever that song that I'm working on and move to another one. Just to keep it flowing and moving. Like Eater of Death, that's just the newest one, and so that's in my brain. That one, the lyrics just came like that because I was writing it for a benefit album for the National Foundation for Transplants. So that's what was on top of my mind. So I was thinking, okay, so these people are fighting for their life. So that's where you get lines like, beat death at the game, and stuff like that. So, yeah, I use it. Use it, man.
Hell yeah, use it, but don't abuse it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I honestly, man, Geoff, it's been great, man, sitting here and talking to you. This is like the first time I've ever gotten to sit down and actually talk to you. I know it's well overdue because like you gave me Mean Machine like a year ago, and it's just so much shit has happened, man. Like you talking about your quote unquote disability. I struggle with my own. I'm epileptic, so like back in July, I had July 15th, I think it was. I don't know if maybe you saw my post because I was actually dark for a while.
Yeah.
I had like 4 seizures in like one day. They were all like the worst ones you could have, like grand mal's. Like I'm very thankful every day to still be alive because 4 in one day is nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, just don't ever to anybody listening to this, like, don't ever waste time that you have, you know? And I think Geoff is a big example of, I think you, sir, are a big example of that with, you know, the news with your heart, where you're at on a waiting list, what you deal with every day. You're not wasting your time, you know, you're not wallowing in anything. You're being positive. You're out here making an awesome band. You're out here doing what you want to do. You're not wasting time. And I think that's a good message to other people.
Yeah, and you know, I'm being realistic about it. I mean, some days I do have to take it slower than others. You know, be realistic. But yeah, ultimately, I have no choice. I got to keep moving forward. I got,
Yeah.
you know, I remember in like 2009, I was in a serious depression. And I didn't realize until 2010 that it was because I had put down my guitar and hadn't played for about a year or two. So for me, that was a big sign that, hey, I can't stop making music. So for me, that's what I latch on to. Yeah, freaking four seizures in one day. I medicine and science is one of my things. So I know a lot about a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
that's a big taxing thing on the body. And that's insane.
I don't think I could honestly think straight for like a week after it happened. It's like trauma on top of trauma, like right after another. But it was nuts, man. You know, I'm thankful to be alive, but you know, just like I'm sure you are every day, man, with the shit that you deal with. So that's why I think if anybody gets anything out of this interview, me and you. One, you got two great songs coming out on the 23rd. You got Bomber and you got Escape Velocity. Well, three things actually. Bomber, Escape Velocity coming out on the 23rd. You got your new album coming out in December.
Yeah, in December.
Yep.
Yeah.
EP/album technically. And don't waste your fucking time here on the planet, man. Do what you want to do. Be positive. Make the best out of it. And if you got to take it slow, you know? But don't waste your time.
Yeah, that's what music is for, man, to get you moving if you're having a rough morning.
Hell yeah. And you know, I totally understand that because like even over the pandemic, I picked up my fucking bass guitar after years of not actually, it just sat in my corner and collected dust. And I discovered how much I loved the Misfits over the pandemic. I discovered how much I loved horror punk in general. Like I started playing like Misfits. I started listening to like a band out in LA called the Writhers, like all these like, you know, Blitz Kid and all these other great bands like that. I started, you know, obviously branching out, found Titanosaur, you know, that was right up my alley. Loved Motorhead. So yeah, man, you know, music is probably one of the greatest outlets for anybody, you know?
Yeah, I think so. You mentioned the Misfits. So that's another thing that I have happening is I'm doing a cover of I Turned Into a Martian with
okay.
With
off of Walk Among Us.
Yeah, with the vocalist of Bovine Nightmares doing the vocals for it. So that's going to be really cool coming out in October, at the end of October. So
why Walk Among Us, great song. Why Walk Among Us? Not I mean, like, I'm not gonna say like Astro Zombies. Astro Zombies is like the one that everybody knows, but it's just like,
yeah, I had it's one of those things. This is again for actually this for a benefit compilation. I don't remember where the benefit is going to, but so there was a list of what songs were available, and that was one of the ones that I really liked. In high school, I did a lot of shoplifting back in the day,
as one normally does, you know.
So one of the things was the Walk Among Us cassette. So I listened to that over and over and over again. So, you know, Skulls, I Turned Into a Martian, 20 Eyes.
20 Eyes. It's great.
That was the one I was looking to do, but I Turned Into a Martian is just fine for me. So getting that one ready.
Hell yeah. You'll do it. I'm going to say you're going to do it way better than Danzig ever could. I always sit back and I always wonder what would have happened, if Danzig stayed with the band and Jerry didn't try to fuck everything up, and and B, if Michael Graves didn't leave the band, and then Jerry fucked everything up. I don't know. It starts and ends with Jerry fucked everything up.
You know, I mean, those recordings are really sloppy. So yeah, hopefully mine will sound better. Yeah, they were really sloppy back then.
I don't know. I think he's a great bass player, but I think he's a very not so great vocalist. That's just my hot take. My hot take. But
I don't think it's a hot take. I don't think many people will disagree that he's not a good vocalist, but
cool. If there's one thing that I don't want to do on Metal for the Masses is divide people and be and have a lot of negativity come my way. That's not what I want.
I tried listening to that Project 59 or whatever they called it, and it's rough. It's really rough.
Have you ever listened to their when Danzig was first coming out and doing like all the more like darker, like satanic stuff? Jerry tried starting the band Christ the Conqueror.
Oh no, I didn't hear that.
No, check that out. It's I've only been able to find the full album on YouTube, but it's like The Abominable Dr. Phibes Rises Again, and just so many other like great tracks are on there. But then you have like the actual like unreleased Misfits version that they would play live that Michael Graves on vocals, and that's a great one. I go back and I listen to that all the time. I've been thinking about illegally ripping it off of YouTube, but you know what? I'm a better man than that. So I will patiently wait until maybe one day they get short on cash and actually release it.
Yeah.
But Geoff, it has been absolutely fucking wonderful sitting here talking with you. I'm super grateful that you took the time today to sit down with me again. I will say it all the time. I jokingly say it, but I also say it to be real. I am just some prick on the internet. So I'm very happy that I was able to sit down and share a screen and share a microphone with you. But dude, I think your story's great. Since I hope it inspires a lot of people. I hope a lot of people definitely get turned on to your music. Go give you a follow at TITANOSAUR Rocks, all one word. Go give this man a follow, and be on the lookout for the 23rd for his new music, cover of Bomber from Motorhead, obviously, and a new re-release version of Escape Velocity. And then be on the lookout for your new album in December.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we've been talking back and forth, and glad it was able to happen today. So
hell yeah, man. Hopefully it's the first of many more when the album comes out and I get a chance to sit down and listen to it and pump it over the airwaves on my show, a million times. Hopefully we can sit down, we can talk about it.
Yeah, I'm here.
Hell yeah. Hopefully you are still here. Hopefully your spot in line improves.
Sir. Yes, sir.
I wish you all the best of luck, sir. And I look forward to the next time we can sit down and talk.
All righty, cool. Me too. Thanks.